What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Rich here to bring you some NBA prop plays over on Prizepicks for Tuesday, January 17th. We have a small slate today, so not a ton of positive EV, but we will hop into the positive EV tool presented by OddsJam, and make sure to check the link in the description for 50% off their tool. It is one of the best tools in the business. I promise you, whether you bet on Prizepicks or you like to play single game bets, it is one of the best, so go and check that out. But let's dive into the plays for today, and I'll also hop into the model a little bit for some other stuff I'm looking at overall. For all the high-flying action, take a step back and relax. It's time to count that money, the NBA props. No look any further. You know what time it is. Presented by Prizepicks, NBA props. Let's
count that money, man.
All right, so what we're looking at right now, 3 plays, all very low in terms of their expected value, but this just happens sometimes. Earlier in the day, there was a couple that popped up, and I was going to record, and then they pulled right down. This is why you have to get on these very, very early. Let's start with the number one play on the board. Joe Harris under 2.5 3-pointers. As you can see here, here's some book lines for it. On Pinnacle, it is minus 139. Obviously, if you put it in a 5 or 6 picks flex on Prizepicks, it grades out to about a minus 119. So there is some expected value there. Joe Harris, he's a little up and down shooting the 3 ball, but overall, this is what the bookmakers are telling us up against San Antonio today. So again, could be on blowout alert. We may get into another player that I do like today, but overall, that's the only concern here with all these Brooklyn players. They could absolutely blow out the Spurs. They may not. Kevin Durant is not there, but that's really the only context that needs to be provided. But Joe Harris does look like a positive EV play for under his 3-pointers, and I think is a pretty good spot for him today. Let's talk about Fred VanVleet over his 3-pointers at 2.5 on Prizepicks. On Pinnacle, it is minus 141, and on XBet, it's minus 139. So the books are expecting him to go over his 3-pointers tonight. I think he's got a pretty good shot. Milwaukee has not been playing very well in terms of guarding the 3, and Fred has been shooting a ton. Hasn't been making a ton, but has been shooting a ton. If they think he's got a chance to go over, I'm willing to bet on the odds makers here, and I think it is a plus EV play. Again, I've talked about it 1,000 times. The Raptors, one of the hardest teams to figure out in the NBA. Who's going to go off? I almost never know, but Fred has been playing pretty decent over the past few games, so I'm willing to bet on him here. And then also, let's get into Ben Simmons. We talked about Ben Simmons a few days ago and his over rebounds, what his stats look like with Kevin Durant out of the lineup. Much better in terms of rebounding than when he is in the lineup. Now, I do like Nick Claxton tonight quite a bit, and we'll get into that once I hop into the model. But this is minus 152 on Pinnacle, minus 135 on Bovada, minus 135 on Bodog, minus 137 on BetOnline. It's a good play. It's not a crazy EV play, but it's a good play. And there's a lot of reasons to like it. The average odds are minus 132. But if you trust Pinnacle, who they say Pinnacle's the best. So if you trust Pinnacle, and we tend to trust Pinnacle, minus 152 is a great line when you compare it to Prizepicks. It's minus 119. So those are kind of the 3 guys that we're looking at right now. I will give this a quick refresh to see if anything else pops up. But those are the 3 that have been up and down. We've seen a few other ones. You see now money is flowing in on Ben Simmons. And so you already see now he's now hopped Fred. Fred has moved down a little bit because money's going away from Fred a little bit. But you see here, Ben Simmons looking like a pretty good play. So now hopping into the model a little bit. 2 fantasy scores I am considering tonight because I think they're both really good matchups. Nick Claxton against San Antonio. I would probably take the first half because, again, he's playing San Antonio. San Antonio stinks. So first half, if you want to go after Nick Claxton, if you want to take the full game at your own risk. One of our favorite fantasy score plays for today. Obviously, Nick Claxton is a monster. He gets a ton of fantasy points. So we like Nick Claxton in this matchup. They are the 5th best matchup in the NBA for opposing centers. Brooklyn, San Antonio should be disgusting. Brooklyn should destroy them. Then talking about Scottie Barnes versus Milwaukee. I talked about how I don't know which Raptors going to play well. Well, the truth is that Scottie Barnes has been playing the best of all of them. He's been scoring, he's been rebounding, he's been getting assists, blocks and steals galore, 45 fantasy points per game over the last 5. Projection is a little bit lower, considerably lower than that in terms of his 100 possession, but the line's only 31.5. I kind of trust Scottie here. I think he's in a good spot. Milwaukee's been playing awful, just awful. And so they are on the road. They'll lean on the stars. They'll get a ton of minutes. Big win against the Knicks just a few days ago. So I do think that Scottie can go over. I like the fantasy score there. Talking about OG, his par was in here a little bit earlier. It's not anymore. And let me tell you, OG and his par, man, 21.5 is a low number. It's not in the plus EV tool right now, so I wouldn't take it. And then also here's the data on Ben Simmons. Matchup is fine, projected for right around 7. I'm going to trust the odd makers here. But yeah, I think if you were to pick any fantasy scores, I think Claxton and Barnes are the two best. And like we talked about with the other plays, Joe Harris under his 2.5 threes, Ben Simmons over 7.5 rebounds. And if you want to take Fred at 2.5, you can take that one as well, the over there. Very, very, very slight edge. Don't go crazy today, everybody, because it is a small slate in the NBA, but there are some plays, and I broke down some reasons why. I will see you guys in the next video. Ray should be back. He was a little bit busy today with work, but I'm sure he'll be here for the next one. I'm out. Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to drop us a like and subscribe for future content. And if you want to get access to some of these great tools over on OddsJam, make sure you go check them out. This positive EV tool is one of the best ones out there for any prize picks better. Go check the link in the description to go check that out. And make sure you use our promo code WAKEUP for a 50% discount on any package across their whole site. Make sure to click the link in the description to go check that out and get your 50% off. And make sure you go to Prizepicks and use promo code WAKEUP for a 100% deposit match up to $100. Promo code WAKEUP at OddsJam, promo code WAKEUP at Prizepicks. Make yourself some money, get yourself some better tools, and let's get